be for the month of June. So if you have not followed along with me before, how I operate is I go through each card individually and then I will tie everything in following that. So through the general energies of the cards individually. And again, if because I've asked several questions in around career, money, finance, all of that, and whatever things might be overriding the remaining energy. It could be relationship, could be finances, whatever. So that may also come through, and then I'll go off with that particular area as well following. But anyway, this is general read, and again, take it as it resonates. If it's not your story, follow along on the next one. It would be related to you. We are dealing with some energies here that are more minor arcana, I will say that. So I'm not seeing a lot of really significant coming out for the month of June, but very productive energy in some ways. Certainly some challenging areas here as well, but for the most part, things are advancing. And I do see a lot of cards out here in terms of finances. So whoever this, that's what it looks like we're predominantly focusing on. Okay, and that is the deck I'm using, Renata Lechner, the Lima Tarot, and a lot of people seem to like this one too. So just as a side note. All right, so we'll get right into it. So what I want to say is, and again, this is for the month of June. So could be dealing with a water energy here with the King of Cups. Definitely think this is going to be more of a month of, it's an emotional month for sure. And again, practical, sort of laying down the steps, all of that is really a lot of the energy that's out here. So I would still say things are kind of moving in a really productive way. And again, it's advancing, could be in more of a slower way here. But anyway, we'll go through and sort of see where things are at. Okay, so again, we're just going to go through all the cards on an individual basis, and then we'll get right down into more of the details afterward. So I don't see anything major arcana, so I don't feel like anything is really going to be of major significance in the month of June. It does feel like a lot of this energy with the King of Cups is still speaking to mastery of emotions, getting in control of or in touch with your emotions, things of that sort. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio could also be coming in here as well. Definitely is something that's fairly positive, though. We usually with the King of Cups, and especially when I see it tied into the world. So there could be something here that kind of speaks to home base, something flourishing for some of you, but it is more of an expansive sort of situation with world card, and it definitely feels like there's an end cycle coming up here. Answers close to home, even on a spiritual level, things of that sort. It does feel like your deepest inspirations or aspirations or dreams are very close here as well. So they're about improvements on, all of those fronts, basically. So still, even improvements, I would say, again, with your romantic life here as well. And again, we're just going to go through all of them individually, and then we'll kind of clarify outward. And this seems like there is a really quick movement with the Eight of Wands to the Ace of Pentacles. So it's like things are starting to speed up in around the finances, I would say, especially with the World card, even though that's not the major card out here, it's more of a clarifier. But things are starting to speed up in regards to the conclusion of something here. So the completion of something, there is success with the World card here as well. Could also speak to international travel, foreign contacts, anything like that. But it's also a part of self-actualization, especially when we're dealing with the emotions. So I would say overall, there's a lot of good things that are coming in there. And there could be some kind of an award or something that's coming in for you in this next little bit. But either way, I do feel like this is striking a balance between things in life that have a deeper meaning for you. Certainly with the World and Eight of Wands, it's coming to a pretty quick closure of something. So anything that might have been limiting you, that seems to be coming to a close, especially in terms of restrictions around finances. I don't feel like that going to be lasting for any length of time. Ace of Pentacles. For some of you, you would be looking for a job. This would be telling you that that's here. That's in the energy. It'd be a little further out from June, but you'd be hearing about the information very quickly. But for others, this is more about a creative situation, and there's a promise here of situation still in the early stages, but it is about to flourish. And it definitely has a lot of potential, especially with the Ace of Pentacles. That's very grounded money. That's something that's going to advance. That's prosperity that has a sort of a built-in process to, very positive rewards, because it's through a succession of events, and it's methodical, and the timing is right, especially with all of the other cards there. So it speaks to upgrading things and initiating a plan. So there's a lot going on there in terms of finances. So I would also say that this is a long-term solution or long-term investment of some sort. Ace of Pentacles. So it feels like, you're benefiting in emotional and material ways in this month. And I would say that it's still developing, but it is everything's starting to improve. Existing relationships are starting to improve, business ideas, those kinds of things. There's more long-term, satisfaction as well as long-term security that's coming in with those cards. Now, and again, we'll go back through those here in a second. How you're kind of feeling about yourself this month here as well is that you feel like you're able to, I'm not saying control all elements, but you're in a position where you feel like you are able to maintain a certain level of control over your own energy, like over your own situation. So the things that are important to you. Fours are all about balance here with that card. But it definitely speaks to things being fairly, within your control, is what I want to say there. And again, it's still methodical energy, but it's also conquering oneself. There's order, there's authority. Anything that comes through with the Emperor is all about, just reasoning things out and being very logical. So I feel like in the month of June, you're kind of coming off as more leadership energy. And it certainly does speak to some, so I do feel like there's some victories in this month for you also. And again, I feel like your manifestations are coming in faster than you would believe because of that energy. A lot of it is very solid. Like I said, it's putting plans into action here. It's organizing things, and some of you romantically, you could be dealing with somebody who's older than you. But either way, I still feel like you're kind of creating your own little private world here, your own private little, that kind of thing. So financially, it's more, create finances and creating financial opportunities. But it's also looking for traditional ways of dealing with things as well. And I feel like that's what you're doing. It's also kind of master teacher or mastering something here as well that's dealing with traditional elements of things. So I would still say that you're in that space of new things coming in, but it's still around the financial front. You to feel a lot more freedom, and you're feeling fairly, in control of things as well. Now, the Five of Cups does speak to some changes or adjustments or a challenge. So I feel there's a little bit of uncertainty that will pass with the Five of Cups. It is something that's emotional, that's impacting you in this month as well. Nothing of a big blowout or anything like that. It's more like a shift. It's more like there could be even a sense of apology that's coming in, but it's not coming in such a way that it's overly emotional. So it's not that it's any less authentic. It's just that it's a very, I would say, kind of a, I don't know, curt words or something like that. Maybe not apology, quite the word I'm looking for. Because to me, when I see it with the Page of Swords, it's almost like the conversation is a little bit overly direct, and it's almost like it's a bit of a sense of a setback, because something didn't quite, and it could be dealing with a younger person as well, but there's some kind of emotional loss, or at least you're feeling the impact of it with the Five of Cups. So again, it's not that the bridges are burned, like, it's just an impact of something that an emotional demand of some sort that's kind of impacted the situation. Don't dwell on it. It's just a bit of something here of everything's still salvageable, because a lot of the cards are very, positive, actually, for the most part. So then we get into the Knight of Wands. So again, this is the energy of some kind of fast communication or some kind of information also coming in. So I feel like there is that energy of things being a lot more, you're feeling a little on the adventurous side of things, and it's almost like something is coming back. There is that energy of, getting on with it and sort of, pursuing thing despite your frustrations around something there. The King of Pentacles, it's still like, it's almost like something is coming in quickly here as well that's in around the finance, and it feels like you're all fired up by it. So it's something that's actually quite positive. And I still feel like, this is that energy of you being a little bit more enthusiastic. Like it's almost like something is more, and is again, grounded money. It's grounded energy. Knight of Wands, if it is something that's related around a connection, it would be somebody who is more in and out, not consistently there. Would be an older person, would be somebody who has high status, or at least has some kind of very principled, mature, that kind of thing. but it does speak to somebody who's, done well for themselves in terms of money. So Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus could also be relevant here, but this is a really practical minded person. So somebody's really concerned with the quality of things, whereas this energy here is very on and off again, shows up when, when the emotional moment hits them, you know what I mean? But it's not consistent energy. This would be somebody who's whining and dining you and that kind of thing. So for those of you that's relationship oriented, that would be how I would read that card in particular. But otherwise, the other person, this be information or something being communicated to you. For those of you not looking for love, this would be more along the lines of success and accomplishment. And certainly there is practical matter where things are improving and it's information coming in about it fairly quickly. So again, for those in romantic mode, it would be romantic weekends or something there that's coming through. And especially when I see it all around the sun card, amazing energy here. Like this is all about positive and hope. Then, it's radiating that inner, desire for something. Something is very happy here for you. Could be something correlated around. Usually when I see another card out, it kind of speaks to travel. Could be reflecting on something that has to do with warm, climate or whatever. But I want to just say here, this is still anything you were relating to around money, it's positive. And that means that there's some kind of an increase that's coming through. So for some of you, it's a bank loan or whatever, or something, gets approved or whatever. But I would still say that there is a lot more here as far as balancing out. Because it's almost like the highest expression of the financial situation. So, and it is coming in rather quickly. So it's something that's going to make you happy. It's something here that is, it's creating a lot of balance and it's a good omen, period. So that's what I'm going to say there. Lots coming in on that front. So that looks really healthy, really good. And again, we're going to go through all these in a little more detail in different ways, but for the moment, this is where we're starting here, just to get through the main energy. Six of Pentacles tells me there's a give and take in a situation. It's all about, again, triumph over challenges, that kind of thing with the sixes. But it still speaks to satisfaction in, could be in the face of change, but I see with the Ace of Cups, it's like you're happy about something that's coming through. It's a gift from the universe that's coming through for you. So whether it's an actual of hands in that month remains to be seen because the clarifier is below. But it could be for some of you, or it could be toward the end of the month. But Six of Pentacles, either way, is about giving time, energy, and then it's also reciprocated. And again, Ace of Cups tells me that there is something here that's in around. It's affecting you emotionally. Now, there is also, for any of you that have been working on something and you've launched a project or something like that, it just feels like something that is now becoming possible. The Ace of Cups, like I said, that's just an incredible energy of, like a new start to something. So you're putting yourself up, you're alert to any kind of synchronicities here. Like this is, anything that you were waiting for, loans or otherwise, like I said, it's definitely a healing that's occurring here. So it's an exchange of energy and it's moving it to the next higher level. It's practical in the way that it's manifesting for you. And I feel like those resources are being exchanged in a fair way. So it's also a shared kind of energy. So it's work in progress where you're sharing things together. So there's some kind of, balancing out. Money is given and reciprocated, something along that line. Ace of Cups, like I said, this is all about, a gift from the universe is coming in for you. So whether for some of you, it might be coming in right away. Others, it still kind of speaks to summertime, but it's also something that helps to stabilize you in a deeper way. It is also a symbol for love. So again, there's more reciprocity in a connection. Could be more than one connection here because I do see a lot of a lot of the queen and the kings and that kind of thing. But a lot of the energy is all around money. We have King of Pentacles further out. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. So it's like doing the right thing with the money and it's things of that sort. It's a happy situation that's about to enter in here. So I'm going to say that for sure. And especially with the Sun card coming out there, Ace of Pentacles, lots of money-oriented issues here, or situations, I should say issue, because it's not really an issue. But again, I do feel like there is some kind of deepening of something to do with the finder, that's really stabilizing things. So again, Ace of Cups, in terms of the finances, like I said, I would still say it's like an unexpected upgrade or something here that's going to be a bigger ticket item or some kind of fortunate increase for you. Now, the Seven of Cups, I feel like this is going to give you options or choices or something like that here. It does mean that there are some decisions that might be coming up ahead because of this situation. You get to choose your alternative, basically. And even if there's a little bit of confusion about how to go forward, it still feels like it's more of a positive, versus eustress basic versus distress. Eustress would be the positive, worry and stress, and distress, of course, we all know that would be where things are headed down a bad track. So either way, I feel like the Seven of Cups does speak to something here about an indecision, but it's a good indecision. It's good, okay to take that time to make the choice, because the Ace of Cups is a very positive card either way, and it does still feel like there's something here, like I said, that you have to gain. Even in terms of work, this could be more options in work as well. So, either way, however it resonates for you, but I still feel like it's a lucrative investment or some other additional way to make money. There's just something here that kind of speaks to you being more empowered by this, because there is more. Because again, I believe you were coming out in your how you were feeling with the Emperor. So to me, it's almost like you're manifesting a dream of some goal or something you were able to attain here in the month of June. And it does help to put things back into focus and put you back on track with your goals. Now, we also have something here of the final cards out. And again, we have King and Queen of Pentacles. So to me, it's really operating in a really balanced place. This is two people that are kind of meeting in the same area of financial goals. Is Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo energy here also, but it's also, seeking a practical solution to a problem. That's what's happening here. It's building on your achievements. It's, you're not impulsive. I feel in the month of June here that you're not hurried to get somewhere, even in terms of romance. You wouldn't be in a big hurry to bring somebody in. It'd be doing things in a slow, methodical way. But I do feel like there is going to be a more of a dramatic increase to your income in this month, for sure, in June. So the money situation looks pretty good. Like I said, I feel like there's better flow than you've seen, for some time. There is a lot of energy here that kind of speaks to, um, using that money to empower yourself and maybe others here. However, on that note, there is something here of a Nine of Swords worry moment. Um, you're worried about something. And again, with the Four of Swords, okay, this is the only part. It feels like maybe around the caring aspect of things. Let's just we'll have to kind of dive into that part a little bit deeper. As far as the financial part of it looks, that looks pretty good. But like I said, there's something here that kind of feels definitely like you still have to work on something. There could be like something a little drama filled here. I'm not sure how I would yet see that. Something about going forward that's restricting you in some way, though. So I would still say that there's something here with the Four of Swords that kind of speaks to an introspective moment. For the most part, I feel like you're sort of trotting along with a very, in a methodical way, because there's so much grounded energy here. But there's almost something here with the Four of Swords that kind of speaks to wanting to escape a little bit. Really worried about something in particular with the Four of Swords, but then things, because you're having to wait on something here. And I should maybe pull a card on that to see exactly what that weight is on that in that particular area, because it's like something has stalled here for you in this area. So there's something here about your peace being disturbed where something is stalled. That's what I would say. Or maybe you're just burned out, but I don't really see a lot of wands here. So it doesn't feel to me like, it feels like it's mental distress or mental concern of some sort. Like I said, the Four of Swords does still speak to needing more rest. And again, this could be just taking more time. But yeah, let's just pull a card on that one here as well. Because the Three of Wands, like I said, that's all about advancing forward in a particular area, but it also indicates that there could be a little bit of a weight around something. So that is the only thing I feel like you are anxious about, is that there's something here that you want to move ahead on that is ready for, you're on the threshold of success, but there's still some kind of a delay. There is a lot of, solid ground here to advance it. So I don't feel like that's the issue. It feels like you're looking forward to something very optimistically. But again, it's like there's something that's come in the way here that is kind of met with, again, concerns. So let's maybe pull back and see what the concern is. Again, I'll pull another card on that one. Just for the moment, we're gonna just go through. So that's what I have on the general card aspects, and then we'll tie it all again together here in a second. Okay, so we'll go right back into what we had initially. Mr. King of Cups. And again, that could be the water sign here as well. And there's also another dynamic here that I was just kind of seeing for health-related reasons. If they're, well, actually, maybe we'll go through that part in a sec. We'll just sort of start off with this part of it. Because like I say, I mean, for the most part, everything is quite positive. I just want to pull one more card on what was the Nine of Swords about? What was the Nine of Swords about, and what was the Four of Swords? What was the concern with the Nine of Swords and the Four of Swords? What is the big concern with the Nine of Swords, Four of Swords? What is the stress and worry about? Knight of Cups, water sign. Commitment around a connection. Disappointment in some area has to do with, but it's at the Ten of Wands. So it is around a connection, actually. And at the bottom of the deck is the Ten of Cups. It could be that a truth or something is coming forward, so it's going to be some concern around that possibly, but it does seem like it's in around a connection, a long-term connection, that Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords. Okay, so either way, well, let's just get back into this. Let me just do one more thing here. Okay, so what I also want to say, I'm just going to read that again. Okay, so our clarifier to the Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords, I'm going to keep them together here, was the Knight of Cups, Hierophant, Five of Pentacles, Ten of Wands, Ten of Cups, Ace of Swords. And to me, sort of feels like it's around family or something that you consider family or happiness or around that. So back in there to the King of Cups. What I'm going to say is you have a lot of really good energy, like I said, for the most part. It's just there's a couple of things here around one particular area with an emotional dynamic that does seem to be very conflictual. It's really got you worried. So I would say there's powerful transformations here that are taking place, even in terms of a love situation for those who are interested in that. There's a lot of self-leadership. There's a lot of dynamics, like I said, especially with that final cards coming out with the Ten of Cups, all of that, that kind of speaks to family dynamics and finances, especially highlighted this month. Again, I feel like you are getting some level of emotional mastery that seems to be taking place in this period. It does feel like there is the future. There's definitely a capacity to kind of navigate through some of the complexities, or at least that one element that I did see, Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords, that's showing up here. And it feels like you're being tested a little bit, although it's strengthening you in some way. I don't feel like there's anything here that's really throwing you too far off, despite the fact that I'm worried here. But again, the theme is emotional mastery, and you're closing some kind of major cycle out, especially with that World card coming through. So again, the King of Cups does suggest emotional maturity in dealing with whatever it is. You've got compassion coming through with the card. There's definitely emotional depths. Like I said, you're kind of acting as more of an anchor in a situation, I would say, even including maybe the family dynamic, because that came out here. So you could be also needing to anchor others by staying internally steady. So something of that sort. But the World card, again, shows me it's a really powerful completion. And again, it's a karmic kind of ending. So it does suggest that it's a fast cycle that's completing here with the Eight of Wands. So definitely really good energy here about sudden movement, things speeding up in the month of June. Ace of Pentacles is also in around that energy of opening a new door to a financial opportunity or an offer, definitely grounded beginning. So again, there's super amazing cards out here for you financially. But again, there's just something here about dealing with, possibly some old grief as well. The Four of Cups is also a card of, not feeling, it's a little bit of like I would say, in terms of if you're worried about someone's health, I mean, for sure the Four of Cups would be, mental health or otherwise. This could be heart related, could be past hurt in regards to a situation, could be dealing with a younger person, or it could also be dealing with a mother figure here as well. There's some things that are still percolating that have yet to sort of show some promise, although the Five of Wands tells me there is still an element of being challenged in some way there. So again, maybe it's on both fronts. Maybe it's, mother energy as well, younger energy, but there is some level of disappointment in that connection there as well. Or you're trying to walk forward, but, there's a little bit of that old grief in the situation here. So because because you feel fairly empowered in this month with the Emperor energy, it feels like you're torn between, kind of the inner strength and outer responsibility. So there's like an emotional regret or sadness, because of that Five of Cups, Four of Cups sort of energy. But though someone might be watching you here with that Page of Swords energy also, trying to figure out, you, or, how to relate to you or something like that. But it's also a very cautious energy. So I feel like you're just in observation mode for the most part. I feel like you are authority, but it's almost like you're grieving the loss of the things that, might have been, where things were more trust, where there was more trust, or where there was more, you know, happier times, that kind of thing. I'm not doing a lot of ruminating over nostalgia, anything like that, but it's just, just disappointment in the things that, might have been hurtful for you. And again, this could be dealing with a younger person here as well, however it resonates for you. But those are the two energies I'm seeing out here. There could be two children involved, or there could be a child, but the Page of Wands, Page of Swords, and I did see Empress. So there could be a few dynamics at play. Empress being mother figure, so you or another person. What I would still say is, because we have that Knight of Wands energy, and again, nothing of these cards speaks to dynamic big changes. Most of them are fairly individual little scenarios. So again, Knight of Wands, King of Pentacles, the Sun, Six of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, and Seven of Cups, those are all really positive cards. So that tells me there's like passionate action. It's balanced with financial stability. There's some bold steps coming forward to allow you to feel more secure in matters, or around the home front, something like that. There's some kind of major, event or something that takes place probably late June that kind of speaks to thinking a lot more sun. Maybe you're traveling, going somewhere sunny. Hi there, Eternal Light and Lux, Florida. Yeah, like I definitely feel like there's possibly some emotional confusion before the renewal of the minor. But I would say that the low point, like your high point, of course, is lots of moments of joy here, financially and emotionally, lots of opportunities. But the low points would be more along the lines of, the overwhelm, in the confusion with the Cups and the Nine of Swords. Like, not, it's almost like you're just stuck in your head in regards to one area. And again, this could be around a relationship dynamic, just because when we clarify that, it did come up with, an emotional situation with the Knight of Cups. Is long-term connection that's also showing up here. So someone known for some time. This is not a new situation coming in. Yeah, and I definitely see a new job here for sure, Lex. They definitely, on the Ace of Pentacles, lots of exchange around money. It would be a big corporate sort of scenario here, I would say. Not really so much seeing an entrepreneurial individual, although it might be advancement with that, but it's not like a new idea that's coming in that way. But very nurturing, stabilizing energy, all of that for this month. Now, again, because I see the Five of Pentacles out here, and the Ten of Wands, I feel like the shift has been around the burden. It's almost done, and of Cups. So it ultimately ends on, the fact that you are carrying a lot of emotional weight, as well as physical burden and exhaustion, deep worry about something for sure. But I would still say, you're holding your long-term vision, because we do have clarity coming in with the Ace of Swords, and maybe truth of some sort, or something that comes to light that, that kind of sort of causes you some kind of concern, something like that. But I would say the weight of that concern is out of love, and I would still say there's a space for healing, but it's not a sprint. It's a kind of a slow sort of energy, with all of the energy I see out here that's pentacles. That's slower moving energy. I would say emotionally somebody might be guarded with you in some way, but there is love underneath that pain. I feel like there's a sense of working things out inside for sure. I would still say the feelings are kind of on the complex side, but I still feel like, a lot of safety and wisdom, especially with all of the mature energy I see here. Now, the other part of this is, if you're concerned about, because again, I can take this in a few different ways. So again, this might be just relative to a few of you. Oh yeah, as far as a court case, that would definitely be going in your favor, but there has been disappointment, but it's still turning out in your favor for sure. The Four of Cups does also speak to seeing here with disappointment, but again, that's almost like emotional numbness as well, because of the detachment with the Three of Swords. So again, how you are coming off, because there is some, some things that you've had to deal with in terms of heartbreak or emotional fatigue, that kind of thing. I do see the Page of Wands here. So overall, I feel like there's a spark of vitality or something return here. And it just feels like it's in a subtle way, though, because this is a small card. So I would still say, again, Page of Wands and the Empress and the Seven of Pentacles is still kind of speaking to long term. If we're talking about in a health concern way, for those of you that have someone you're concerned about in terms of health, I would still say that this is more about waiting, frustrated. There's internal conflict, whether it's you or this other person, something like that. It's like a slow emotional kind of month and so all you can really do is just be supportive, I would say. It's nothing's worse or improved necessarily. It's just sort of going through a situation. So again, emotionally, I just feel like it's coming up here as something very slow to heal. Now, for those of you in terms of the finances, again, because when we go back into the Ace of Pentacles, again, this would represent as a new job or an offer, very grounded. It's not like a paddle job. It's more along the lines of, this is money, and this is going to be good, good money over the long haul, especially with all the cards here. And I feel like wish fulfillment is coming through, like that you wanted to do. Yeah, diabetes, I feel it's kind of, yeah, if it is diabetes, it would be, like I said, it's a slow journey. There's some levels of frustration coming up here, but, again, there's still something here that speaks to spark of something returning. So just, you got to wait it out. So it's not worse. It's not better necessarily. It's almost like it's a wait and see card, is what I would say in terms of health. The Pentacles, like I said, is still something here showing up as, clear potential for money to come in, because there's just way too many cards of, getting help, new ideas or something here. But Seven of Cups also can warn against scattering your efforts. Prioritize what's real and long-term for you. Timeline, I would say early June is the opening to the opportunity, and then that's where the, discussions or something could begin. Mid-June, it's like the gift, the blessing that's coming through with the Ace of Cups. And I mean, that's very established money, made the hard way, and that's how it's coming in. But it's still a surprise gift that's coming in, and it helps to stabilize things. So, because there's just a lot of cards here about, being quite satisfied with the outcome. I would still say, ground yourself, create some boundaries for sure. Don't load everything just yet, because it seems like with the Emperor's energy there, you need to still have some structure to protect your peace, that kind of thing. I would say focus on what is, not what is gone, that kind of thing. Yeah, Aries is coming in there for sure as well with the Emperor. And yes, I would say that one is also relevant, because that one is a big major card out. Taurus is also here, but for me, I don't know, somehow lesser energy, because how you feel about yourself with that Aries card is really strongly coming through there. But definitely, just checking to see if Libra was really coming through. I don't think I saw the Justice card or anything there. Let me just double check. No, I don't really see. Well, I mean, it's not just Leo energy that it does kind of shine through here as well for me, but it's just a lot of secondary energy. But again, Libra, so I mean, take that as it resonates here because that is part of the story. So, but either way, you know, this is where you know, you can't fix everything, but what you can't, how do I say, you can always unlearn something. You know what I mean? So if there's something here that needs to be adjusted, focus on what is left. And that's the thing that you want to focus on, how to get clear in your mind about what's real, what's, you know, what is the things that you can continue to move ahead with. But either way, I feel with that Empress out there as well, it just feels like you're, and that World card, you're closing one major soul lesson and moving to something entirely new. So I feel like the past is complete in some way. So whatever the lessons are, they're integrated here and there's a blessing for that. But I would still say that the future is open and you have to just let the past kind of complete itself. So there's something to that effect. Now, I still wanted to just kind of get a little more clarity on what the worry was with the Nine of Swords and the Four of Swords. It's definitely about, you know, resources going forward. I would say that might be the issue. So it's not so much in the matter of, and yeah, court case for sure, Lux. That makes sense, but it's just worry, but there's no direct obstacle here. It's almost like you're trying to kind of pull back and protect the inner peace, like I said, but still something here that kind of speaks to, sorry, I'm just trying to find our other cards there that related. But either way, yeah, that was it right there. Okay, well, that Three of Wands, like I said, also had some kind of quick information that's coming through. And again, this could also represent a court card. As far, I'll pull a card on that actually for you, Lex, because I mean, I see all positive cards here, but be more specific to you. And again, there's definitely disappointment in a situation almost to the end of it. The conclusion's here. 10 of Wands, 10 of Cups. The conclusion is here. The information, the decision, whatever is right here. So let's just pull this last card for specifically for Lux. So what is going to happen with Lux in this situation with her husband? What is going to happen in this situation? Why the Four of Pentacles? Ten of Swords. Well, the chapter's definitely over. There is a celebration, though, with the Three of Cups. And I see, you know, yeah, and I do see children coming through with the Page. So let me ask that. Although I did get the Two of Swords, so let me just clarify. Is there going to be something here that comes through that advances in her favor with regards to children? Is there something in her favor? Does she have the upper hand in the situation with her husband? Does she have the upper hand in the situation with her husband in terms of the kids? Ooh. Okay, well, all right, I'm going to try to get a little more specific on this, but I see some toxicity, and there's a big moment coming in here with something that's around the children, for sure. There is something that is going to happen there. Is it in favor of, will it be in favor of Lux? Will it be in favor of Lux? What is the big tower moment that comes in with, will it favor? Information. Okay, there is, yes. Okay, there is going to be some kind of a healing. It's going to be a big tower moment before you sort of get there. So there is going to be something that impacts you that is probably going to throw things off. But then there's some kind of information through that sort of heals it. So what I would say or at least it's in healing. It's in healing. And it's almost like a working together. You have to work together because the Two of Cups here, the Queen of Swords is like, hi, Kurdistan. Thank you for the hearts. Oh, sorry, Lucy. Yeah. But yeah, Lucy, it looks like you do have a big tower moment of some sort that's coming in here. Now, it doesn't mean that it's something that kind of surprises you, but I would still say, and maybe it surprises you because it just wasn't something you were expecting. Let me just think here for a second. Because the thing is this is about information that's coming through. It's the star that's kind of throwing me off. I mean, there is going to be something that happens that's kind of surprising with you in regards to situation. Oh, you had to move to your mom's house. Yeah. Well, it does look like it. And I do see the Empress, the mom came out card for sure. But again, it's almost like there is you're working together in a situation. Like it's almost like you have to kind of coordinate in some way. It doesn't feel as though you are, oh, you stayed back for work. Well, that would make some sense here because I mean, I do feel like you're still having to work together. And again, the star card sort of puts it as a still positive, but I mean, it's like after the tower moment. But I definitely still feel like things are starting to move in coordination. And it definitely feels like it is a coordinated effort with the Two of Cups. It's an individual thing. You're not having to do it on your own. So that's all positive. Well, that's very good to hear. So anyway, oh, today's your anniversary. Well, happy anniversary. Got to celebrate those milestones. Life is short. It creeps by so quick that yeah. And you know, the funny thing is, it's like for all the negatives that happen in life or whatever you want to call as negatives, the weird thing is, you know, it's like going on a really bad vacation. You know, what you end up noticing is those are the vacations you remember the most that you actually, you know, you find the humor in. Like the really good vacations don't necessarily really remember those elements, but yeah, that's amazing. That's really, really good. It is so good to hear that. Just keep going for sure. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I guess you would if you had all those issues to sort of deal with for sure. I mean, the importance of health is like you can't put a number on that. Health always first. If you don't have your health, it's really hard to enjoy yourself because like I've known people that have been in constant pain and that kind of thing, and it's just you just don't get any joy out of life. You know, you got to figure out your vitamins or figure out your, you know, your go-tos in terms of your health. Never take it for granted. Absolutely not. I just that you know, given a lot of people around me, it's really been kind of a wake-up call how important it is to maintain your brain health. And I mean, I watch a lot of that stuff with neuroscientists and all of that, you know, in terms of lion's mane and ginkgo biloba and all that you can take for, you know, regenerating brain and brain cell growth, and you know how the stomach lining and all of those things interact with like your colon, and just a whole other world of, you know, of for us to understand. But like I said, just always make sure to health number one for sure. Yeah, I'm absolutely all about vitamins too. Like I take vitamin Bs for energy, matcha green tea. You know, of course, you can't take vitamin B without food and that kind of thing. And of course, some people don't even absorb it that way directly through the stomach. Some people actually have to get the injections. But I mean, it really helps to kind of carry you through a day. You know, if you just take it on its own, for sure, it can upset the stomach. But if you take it with food, it's really good. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, Kurdistan. Because I mean, I'm starting to realize, like, I hate to, you know, poo-poo some of the medications and stuff that are out there, but a lot of them have side effects, you know. And yes, in the short term, there may be a quick fix, but it's also to the detriment of, you know, the other side effect that, you know, maybe, you know, you might be feeling suicide if you take this thing for your, you know, your headache, or like, and it starts to paralyze me because I'm like, do I really need that? You know what I mean? Because yeah, like I said, I mean, there's a whole, you really have to explore things. Oh yeah, water with lemon. Yeah, no, I've heard that's really good. I'm trying to do the green match to, it's apparently filled with a lot of vitamin B too. It's a really good one. But yeah, I watch quite a few people on, everything in moderation too, for sure, right? So, but I mean, I watch quite a few people in regards to mental health in terms of, that you can take as far as, maintaining the dendrites and the cells in the brain and all of those things. Because if you, like I said, if you don't have those things, if you don't have brain, other people are going to run your life. Right? Yeah, go ahead, ask a question, Curtison. Just waiting for this question, and then I'm going to zoom out before my phone dies on me. And it has some things to do. Kurdistan, what is your question? About neural information? What's coming in for Kurdistan? What's coming in for Kurdistan? Burwari. General message. Trying to find love. Okay. Can't. What is the problem with Kurdistan finding love? Oh, funny. First card out, lovers. Okay, let's just see. What is the problem? What is the problem with why Kurdistan is having difficulty finding love? What is the problem? Why can't Kurdistan find love? Okay, I see a lot of mature energy around you for sure. Why is the King of Swords here? Could be dealing with Libra, Gemini, this energy. Gemini, especially strong. Hi, Bob. Okay, so Kurdistan, what is the reason why they can't find love? Okay, the thing is with yours, I see like the potential there because we also have the Four of Wands. So I'm going to say here, because the Lovers is here, I don't think you're that far off of finding love. And hi Corey, dealing with a Gemini, because that's what I'm seeing here. As far as the question, why can't find love, I'm seeing Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, but again, Gemini, very specific. But again, we've got Lovers, King of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, King of Wands, Four of Pentacles, Strength card, Four of Wands. Is the order that they came out. So what I'm seeing there is still very positive. So I don't know that it's going to be that far off for you in finding love, because the cards indicate that it's there, and it's almost like with the Four of Pentacles, almost like you're holding back. It's like you just don't see you're not seeing it. That's what I'm kind of seeing. It's almost like there is some kind of soul-aligned union coming in, and maybe it's an opposite to you. So it's not really that you're blocked from love. It's like it's got to be a truly aligned love for you. And that might be coming through from the way that you think about it. But it's slow moving. But it feels like you're not just choosing anybody. It's like I feel like you are, you're getting clear on what it is that you want. You're finding maybe people who aren't really real or aren't ready. And to me, it's almost like your mind overrides heart, especially if you've been hurt before. So there's something here about love coming in slowly and steadily. It's being built behind the scenes, energy with the Knight of Pentacles. And again, it's foundational. It has a lot to do with practical measures. I'm not saying that there's no passion. There's passion here as well, but it just feels like you want a person that can match you. You know, you're not, I feel like you're discriminating is what it is. I feel like you are choosy, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you don't want to find out later that, you know, you've chosen the wrong person, and they are, as a matter of fact, bottom of the deck is Fool. So it's like somebody's right there, that you're going to be moving into. It feels like you're probably protecting your heart a little bit here as well, and that can kind of an energetic blockage in some way. He doesn't have the same feeling, or he refuses to be in a relation and love, and it feels sad. Well, that Four of Pentacles does show me that. But I have to tell you, I still feel like there's something, if it's not this person, there's someone new coming in, because the Fool is here. And that Fool tells me that there is some, you're not really blocked, you're emotionally resilient. And I feel spiritually quite strong. It's like you're mastering your own inner fears. And, you know, I just feel like you're at the doorway here for someone to come in. It doesn't feel like you're not aligned with, you know, with someone. It feels like you're being particular. You're looking for Four of Wands. Four of Wands is the full meal deal. This is, you know, where this is stability. This is happiness. This is somebody who is wanting the same things as you are. This is about wanting that same foundation. It's a mature energy. You know, the kings and the knights show that maturity is patient, and the timing is important here. That's what I would say. And I feel like you're kind of filtering out the shallow connections. So, you know, it's like the right ones. That's 100% for sure coming through. But I feel like there's somebody here. The Four of Pentacles, like I said, does indicate that there is something here of maybe a love that's coming through that you didn't expect. And I feel like you will be not using so much your mind in this situation, because I think you've used your mind or your heart to feel safe. But I feel like your softness is not a weakness. It's actually your power. And I feel like you're going to focus on your happiness, and then someone that right at that moment when you are in that energy, that's when that person is going to meet you there. So I feel like that person is coming towards you, and you're very close to that door with that person, although it is slow to develop love. But the bottom of the deck is the new connection. I don't know if or from the past. It looks to me like it's a new one. Let me just ask, is it a new love for Kurdistan or from the past? A new one or some past? It still feels like it's a new one, but anyway, new one or someone from the past. It's a new love, 100% new love. And it feels like a very emotive situation. Like this is, yeah, I don't see crush here. I actually see like really kind of deep transformative emotional energy with this person that you connect to. When you do align with this person, I feel like they're really close. I feel like it's going to kind of catch you off guard and won't be somebody that you kind of expect it to be. And let's see, Corey. Let's see, Corey. Let me just see. New love. Sorry, I was just reading your thing there, Corey. You're dealing with a Gemini. What's happening for Corey? What's happening for Corey with Gemini? What is happening for Corey with the Gemini? What is happening for Corey with Gemini? There's confusion around your situation. Maybe somebody's got a lot of options, but it feels like there might have been, there's a lot of things going on with yours. A lot of juggling of situations here as well. What is the, or options? What is Corey dealing with the Gemini? Could be dealing with a Leo and Libra coming through. Also, still very positive cards on yours, but it just feels like there's a lot of back and forth energy I'm getting with yours. Something is in a deep transformation, a big change, I think, that's coming for you that somebody's undergoing. Love situation, Son of Cups, Death, Two of Pentacles, King of Swords, Strength, Four of Wands, I would say overall, yours is going through some big changes. Like I said, I feel like you've got some choices or there's some kind of emotional confusion going on between the two of you right now. Like I said, there's still something here about got a lot of options, multiple possibilities, or whatever kind of fantasy thinking, something like that. And it's almost like you're being called to see through the illusion of things. Definitely Libra energy here with the King of Swords. So get still something here about an old cycle and love is ending, but possibly the connection. But because I see the Strength card and the Four of Wands, I'm going to say that it's almost like you're juggling your emotions and you're trying to find balance between your heart and your mind, that kind of thing. There's hope, there's fear. And again, I hopefully this is resonating for it, but I still feel like you're approaching things with more emotional discipline, with more of a logical mindset going forward. And I feel like you've been dealing with, whether this is you or someone else, somebody who's been emotionally reserved, um, or that's, thinking more than feeling. So I would say stay grounded. You don't want to chase love, you want to attract it. And this is also something about, your outcome is really, a real partnership with the Four of Wands. It's a real partnership. You're looking for emotional, security, home, all of that. And I feel like that union is possible for you, but it's only after you finish this cleaning or cleansing of the cycle, and then you're going to choose it. And I do mean you'll actually just choose it. So it feels like you're letting go of the fantasy of what love was, and balancing things out by using your, inner wisdom and maturity, all of that. And it feels like you are now looking for deep, real love, like something that's meaningful. I was just reading things. What about Libra who are working today? Will continue to work or not? Okay. But yeah, anyway, I was just going to say with that, Corey, it's very stabilizing energy. And I definitely feel like it's waiting for you. It's clear on you first. And then, you will have that, you'll be a stronger version of yourself, and then you'll be able to choose from a wise space. Um, and, oh, yeah, no, empath, 100%. Yeah, you feel that. You feel that coming a long ways away. You can generally get a really good feel. I feel like I'm along that same line as well. You get a sense of, you can feel out the room. But they also say when you're an empath, you can also feel out the room. You gravitate to the person who's got the most pain. And unfortunately, sometimes you become the target of that pain. So you have to be... And the Libra working, they will continue. Oh, okay, so Libra working, will they continue in their work or move on to something else? Will they continue in their work or move on to something else? For Kurdistan. Oh, ultimate happiness. Oh my gosh. I don't know. That looks amazing, whatever that is. It almost looks like it could be a new thing here, but what is the Ace of Cups? Wow, I'm seeing lots and lots of money coming through for Kurdistan with the Libra energy. It's like family. It's something that's going to be long term. It's laying down a foundation for sure. It feels like it's something passionate, something they really want to do, and it's like, yeah, it's a blessing. It's going to bring a lot of money. Yep, inheritance. Wow. Yep. So anyway, that's what I've got for you guys. Keep moving forward on to the next journey of my day. Till next time.